delicious stew, and her name is Minerva. Ouch! She's the flower of the flower. Ouch!
Welcome to the show.
Don't start! We haven't left yet!
I think I need to make that intro longer so I have more time to just sit here and fall asleep. Because when it ends, I'm never ready to go on, and yet here I am. My name is Aaron, and I'm not getting any younger. But the show must go on, so here we are with a, I don't know, 4th or 5th episode now of Comics, Cryptids, and Cannonballs. We're the show where we talk about comics, cryptids. We do talk about movies. We do talk about pop culture. And if you mouth off too much, you're going to get a cannonball. So that's kind of the name of the show. I can't even remember who in the chat suggested it, but I liked it. I took it. We rebranded, and we still the same old stuff. But me, want to thank you for joining me today, regardless of the mild, low-level entertainment that I provide. You're still here, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You guys all seen that AI video that just came out from some company in China with Brad Pitt fighting Tom Cruise? And it was completely AI, prompted by, I guess, a 2-sentence prompt. What have I been saying? Skynet. Arnold's going to be showing up at your door, asking you if you're Sarah Connor very shortly, and blowing your head off. It's over. I heard some people trying to spin it like, well, yeah, this will allow really creative people that don't have the budgets to make their own movies. I suppose it'll also make really uncreative people the ability to make their own movies. But I'm wondering if, like, you know, that Winnie the Pooh slasher film, I wonder if they did that in AI, if it would actually be better than the actual Winnie the Pooh slasher film that came out. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but it is sort of alarming. And I wonder if we'll get to a point where clearly we don't know the difference visually, but I wonder if we'll be able to pick up clues once all the bugs are worked out. For example, right, where Tom Cruise's sleeve gets long and then it's short, or you've seen the ICE video where this allegedly this cop in Minneapolis is standing up to the ICE agents and berating them, and which was all fake. And you could tell because he had a badge on his shoulder, and instead of having words, you know, about, you know, police slogans or whatever, it just had like gibberish symbols because the AI didn't generate something for the patch. And so you could say, oh, okay, that's fake. But eventually, and probably when I say eventually, I mean like weeks from now, they're gonna get beyond all that, and you're not gonna be able to tell. But then I wonder if there'll be a trademark that we will be able to tell. Like if an AI script comes out, there's certain dialogue that you'll go, that sounds AI generated. It doesn't sound like somebody actually wrote that. And so I wonder if we'll be able to tell, even though we won't be able to tell. So it's a scary future, but a hopeful future in that maybe we will get so used to it and understand it that we will be able to tell the difference, even though on the surface, it doesn't appear to be any difference. We better hope so, because we're treading into territory where we're not going to know what's real and what isn't. And we're already there, quite frankly, because people see a clip on Instagram and they automatically think it's true without even, giving it a close examination. They just, or someone will even say, oh, so-and-so said this. And you're like, that doesn't sound like so-and-so would have said that. But you go, what the heck? I believe it. I mean, we already got that going on. So it won't take much, but these are interesting and dangerous times we're living in. But there you go. I just thought I'd throw that out there because I did see the Tom Cruise thing, and it was it's pretty impressive. Now, there was some mistakes made, and but I think the guy was doing it to make a point, saying, hey, I did this with a 2-sentence prompt. What if someone that actually knew how to manipulate this program came in? You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And so now we got people, copyright, and the movie industry is in an uproar over this. Of course, it's a Chinese company, so they don't give a rip. They don't have to do whatever, international copyright law. Yeah, right. So it's going to get crazy, folks. So we'll be sitting back watching that. And will it affect our little tiny corner of the entertainment industry called comic books? It's all the way down here in the corner. It's about that big. And it will, to a certain extent, but I don't think that any of us will be able to not tell an AI comic from a actual real comic. But will it make any difference to people? I don't know. Will there even be an audience for comics by then? Boy, that's a whole nother video that I want to make. But that's not what we're here for today. Today, we're here to look at some art, talk about movies, chase the ever mysterious and disappearing Bigfoot. All those things will be happening on this show. And I'll get off my AI rant for now, and we'll definitely revisit this later as time goes on. Let's see who's here. Corum, who shall get the cannonball? Can't wait to find out, he says. Past Master Dan, Barbaric Adventures is launching soon. He is correct, by about 3 weeks or less. You see that right behind me? There? See that? You know what that is? That is the cover painting for, and you can't really see it very well, can you? Well, you're just going to have to wait. That's kind of my little teaser. I turned it just enough to the camera to go, you can go, what is that? Is that? So yeah, I'm working on that right now. Darren Wagner, justice for Ms. Modoc. Well, the question's been answered. There it is. First cannonball of the day. Ms. Modoc. I don't think, or I didn't think that there could be a stupider character than, say, like Paste Pot Pete created. And well, here we go. Ms. Modoc. Oh, Lord. Repairman Jack. Repairman Jack saying, I got to think of something cannonball worthy. Well, you just saw what was cannonball worthy. Creative Phase here. Marcus, Killer Group, purveyor of all things pop culture knowledge. Yeah, there was some question about what time the show started. I did put on the title card 3 p.m., but then I listed it in my listing as 2 p.m. because I was thinking Graybeards, but I did correct it very late in the game, but I did correct it. I think actually around 2 o'clock, as you guys were in the chat going, wait a minute, is the show starting or what? So I don't know. So I apologize for that. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is always here. And we appreciate that. Stealth X5 joining us. Custom God. Well, there are conflicting times noted. The two. Okay, so we're still talking about that. Well, this was the early chat, so that was a discussion. That was a topic of discussion. Matthew Muma is here. Randy Howell, all the way from Canada. He says Canada is now the top seed for the quarterfinal round of the men's Olympic hockey. Well, that shouldn't be too big a surprise, right? But here's the thing with the Olympics. Since the Soviet Union went in the toilet, although the Soviet Union is arising in this country, but since there's no Soviet Union, there's no one really to hate. And that's what I liked as a kid about the Olympics, was there was really somebody we were rooting against. And, it was like East Germany, all the commies, right? It was just like all the communist countries that Eastern Bloc, they always had the best athletes because they were all on drugs, or they were all, 27-year-old non-professional athletes. And we had our college kids out there, and it was always competitive because of that. And it was always cheating, like the 1972 U.S. men's basketball team playing the Russians and how they cheated. And then the Americans didn't go up to the podium to collect their silver medal because they got cheated out of the gold by the refs and the Russians. I mean, without that kind of controversy and that kind of vitriol, I don't even want to watch anymore. And I don't. 1980, perhaps the greatest moment in at least U.S. The Winter Olympics is when the 1980 U.S. Olympic team beat the Russians. It was, but now if they beat the Russians, it's kind of like, whatever. So that, and then you got half your U.S. Athletes, bad mouthing the United States. Boy, that really makes you want to root for them. I tell you. So anyway, I haven't watched 1 second of the Olympics. And I used to be, growing up as a kid, we loved the Olympics, watched winter and summer, watched them all. And now I don't care at all. So there you go. There's another commentary. Pantheon's here. Gemini Dragon. Hail the chat. Hail Shelley, CG, and I guess Aaron. That's disrespectful. But not disrespectful enough for a cannonball, I guess. We'll see. Corey Landis is here. Corey says he's so excited he can't even spell my name right. I appreciate that, Corey. Daniel Russell is joining us. Pity Ma, of course, is here. Andy Dalliff joining us. Daniel Russell. I already said Daniel. Let's see who else we got in here. Gary Bruce. Gary Bruce is very dissimilar to someone else I already mentioned in the chat. Let's see here. TA 58008. People under 40 are already illiterate. We are effed. Yes. Robo Aaron versus Terminator. Yeah. I don't know that I would stand much a chance against Arnold. Even old Arnold right now, I might not stand a chance against because I'm old Aaron now. There you go. We get a t-shirt, Disavow AI Comics. Absolutely. My biggest complaint about all this is Stealth for $2. Stealth X5. Appreciate it, man. It says hello. Thank you. Hello to you. I did mail off. I don't know if I sent a notice, but I did mail off your order that you purchased for somebody else. So that's been shipped several days ago. So Stealth. Just want to let you know that. That's my biggest concern about all this is that you should have to work to achieve something, and AI allows you to not work to achieve anything. And so I'm really ticked off. I get the idea of, like me, for example, saying, oh, I'd love to do an animated Wraith of God or Kit Carter or whatever. But no studio wants to do it. I don't have the money to hire animators to do it. So I can create it with AI. Okay. I understand that. I see the value there. But then you open the door to anybody that can type in a sentence can now suddenly get into the marketplace. And to me, that's like, you haven't earned the right to do that. And it's easy for me to say that because I'm on the creative side and I'm doing this professionally and it pisses me off. But if you're just a consumer, right? Not a creator, but a consumer, and you say, hey, that looks pretty good. I want to watch that. And I don't care who created it. I mean, I can see that aspect from it too. So I don't know. I have a very sort of maybe a niche opinion on this simply because of where I'm coming from. But when I was in film school, I remember people, in fact, my girlfriend at the time was like, I could direct a movie. And you're just like, because I had so many people tell me that, oh, you're in film school? Yeah, I want to be a director. I think I could direct a movie. I think I'd be a good director. And they say this to you and you're just like, you have no concept of what goes into that, and just to say that so flippantly, like, well, yeah, I could be a good brain surgeon. Oh, I'm not going to go to school, but if I did, I'd be a great brain surgeon. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on. So anyway, See, now I'm up soapboxing again. Do get a $1 discount for the logo idea. You get my thanks for sending me an unsolicited logo design, which I didn't use, but there were a couple aspects of it that I did like that I incorporated into the new one. So no, but thank you though. I vote that, see, and here so now he can sue me, can't he? Because I just admitted that I used something from his unsolicited logo that he sent me. I didn't copy it. I used an element of it that I kind of liked. And so I don't know. Is that a suable offense? Maybe I better give him a free comic or something, or get myself in trouble. Well, think about it, Daniel. I do appreciate you sending it, even though I don't appreciate you sending it, because that's how people get in trouble, is they send unsolicited stuff and then someone steals their idea. You know, I'm not saying I stole your idea. I'm just saying I did inspire me to use some elements. So I guess that's stealing. Let's see. Custom God is here. Wants to know what's wrong with Paste Pot Pete. I don't have the time to get into that. Says my computer says 22 are watching. Well, mine says 58 right now. So Bibliobob is here. Thanks for joining us. It took me forever to learn how to pronounce that name. And I made it worse by giving it to Kelsey all the time. Kelsey, because Kelsey could say it. Bibliobob. Now I can say it, so I'm fine. And it's a good thing because Kelsey's not around anymore. Who knows where Kelsey's at? It's a mystery. People agreeing with my Winter Olympics. Let's see. I'm watching at the gym, but I'm around. Evil One Chris says he's watching at the gym. Good for you, getting into the gym. I got back into the gym this week. Judas Priest. I've been out for so long because of Christmas and then New Year's, and I know we're like 6 weeks past that already, but it's like it was just one thing after another. Doctor's appointments that I take people to, or maybe that I had to go to myself. Mostly that I had to take people to. And then I had to drive my daughter to work because she wasn't comfortable driving downtown Portland. We finally got her past that, so now she's driving. But it was just destroyed my schedule. Destroyed it. And so now I'm back in the gym, that is. Why are people texting me? Never fails, man. Well, I shot off a text message and didn't ruin the show. Sean Allen just saying, hey, you made it through Friday the 13th. Well done, old man. Does my being old make it more difficult to get through Friday the 13th? I don't know. I mock superstition. That's what I do. And now a ladder is going to fall on me, but anyway. All right. Okay. That got me. It's pretty funny, but still. Let's see. Craig is anticipating the Crow's arrival. It took me like 3 days to mail it out, I admit it, but I did send it out on Saturday. So it is, yes, that'd be yesterday. So it is on its way to you. This is true. I do miss Kelsey. Kelsey, here's the thing about Kelsey. You can say what you want. Yeah, he created a sketchbook and he hasn't fulfilled it yet. I paid for one. I don't have it. And, but Kelsey is so good on camera and so good on these shows. He was really a highlight to Graybeard Studios. And I miss him. And he's a jovial guy too behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, people do you wrong or they make a mistake or what, I just move on. I just don't, I'm not usually one to hold grudges. There's a couple people that I do have a grudge against that I'm really working on letting go of. But for the most part, I don't. And so, yeah, I miss Kelsey. Phil's actually coming on shortly. You were going to publish that for him, weren't you? I'm not going to waste your time when you come on talking about this, but I just think it's interesting that I think Phil does have Kelsey's sketchbook files, and but he can't just publish it without Kelsey and all that stuff, because Kelsey's the one who collected all the money. Phil didn't. So, but it'd be nice if we could actually get that. Victor says, who would make a lot of money on Whatnot drawing NSFW girls? I don't know what that means. I probably should, but I don't. Yeah, I like Rini too. I don't talk to her much, but I have no issues with Rini. I always like Rini. So the more friends you have, the better off you are, I think. Anyway. Not safe for work. Thank you, Creative Faye. Lewd characters. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there is that audience, right? And I've been tempted over the years to be drawn into that saucy girl audience. And I just, obviously my Christian faith and commitment keeps me out of that ballpark for the most part. I do still draw women. I try to be, PG, I guess. Like this cave girl painting right here that's Santa Claus over there. This cave girl painting, get in the center. There we go. Right here, I did an acrylics to kind of warm up for the cover painting I'm working on behind me. And you know what my mom said? I showed this to my mom and she goes, "It's beautiful." She goes, "I am sure glad that I kept on your case when you were young about how you draw women." My mom was like, "She's not pretty enough. The hips aren't round enough. There's not enough curves." I mean, my mom was just all over me. And that's why I draw women the way I draw women. My mom was a big pinup fan back in the old days, like George Petty, Vargas, that type of stuff. She always liked that stuff. And so instead of her saying, "What are you drawing naked girls for?" she'd go, "If you're going to draw naked girls, draw them better." So I didn't draw a lot of naked girls. But again, I grew up with Frazetta, and it was just kind of a thing. It's like a genre. My kids are like, "Why are you painting? Why are you selling? Or why are you drawing these girls or whatever?" And I'm like, it's the art form that I grew up in. It's nothing beyond that. But there is a market for the sauciness, that's for sure. So there you go. I don't really know what the moral of the story is or what the purpose of that. Why I even said that. But that cave girl's for sale, by the way. It's on my website. You can contact me directly if you have any interest in purchasing any art from me, which is is Aaron admitting to being a gooner? What does that even mean? There you go. Frazetta equals tasteful. Are you serious? Are you really? Mike's not doing that. Is he really? I don't know. I don't know if I can take your word, Victor, for it or not. But anyway, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, Aaron, loosen up, man. You're too uptight," or whatever. But we all got to do what we feel comfortable doing. So, I'm trying to figure this out. When I was a boy, I drew Ninja Turtles, but one day I drew a superhero a little too hot, I guess. And my mom berated me, so I made a point after that to go on and on about men and muscles, really laid on gay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm following everything there, but okay, so now you're saying almost no, Mike wouldn't budge. Someone wanted him to do that. Okay, so you're making up stories and getting me to read them. Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, when you're drawing superheroes, you're drawing basically anatomy, right? And if you go with Gil Kane, like costume design, it's all like figure drawing with just painted on costumes that don't interrupt the flow of the figure, right? So if a gay guy is reading a comic, he may say, "Ooh, you did a really sexy guy there," when you drew it and went, "What are you talking about?" You know, so it works the same way. Then a heterosexual guy looks at your babe and goes, "Ooh, you drew a really sexy babe there," and you're like, "Oh, well," you know what I mean? So there's amount of perspective in it, but that's really what superhero comics or comics in general are, is just figure drawing. And for most artists, guys like me that are very organic, the figure drawing is the most fun. That's what I enjoy doing. And so, you know, obviously you don't put your characters in situations that sexual situations or pornographic situations, because if you're doing that, then that's actually what you're pushing. But if you're just drawing well-drawn figures doing stuff, you know, then I guess it's up to the reader to bring their own sensibilities to it. So I don't know. So, you know, what are you going to do? All right, let's get this show on the road and start doing some stuff. What do I want to do here? I think I want to do this. Yeah, let's take a look at our expensive comic of the week. If I can find it. There it is. There she is. Quoting Khan there. Okay. Check this out. So we had a sale very recently that involved Batman #1 in a 9.4. Are you freaking kidding me? This is just ridiculous. Okay. Now, this features the first appearance of the Joker and the first appearance of Catwoman. So it's a very key issue. And I listened to some guys saying that Batman #1 is really an undervalued comic because it does have these first two key appearances in it. Now, this is a 9.4, which again, for a book in 1940, is ridiculous. It's absurd. And so you'd think this would bring a premium, and it did. It sold for $6 million. You say, well, how could that be undervalued? Well, if you look at Action Comics #1, sells for a 9.0, sold for $13 million. So we got Batman #1, not the first appearance of Batman, which of course is obviously a giant key, but still, first appearance of the Joker, first appearance of Catwoman, goes for $6 million. Now, this sold in tandem together with the Mile High copy of Action Comics, Superman #1, which was an 8.5. That's a VF plus. So it's a really nice copy. Second highest graded. Okay. It's part of the Mile High collection. So that gives it more prestige, even though it's just an 8.5 and not a 9 or a 9.2. So in this whoever purchased these books bought the Superman and the Batman together and paid $7 million for Superman #1, the Mile High copy at 8.5, and $6 million for Batman #1 in a 9.4. So you tell me, how in the world is Superman #1 which is not a significant issue other than it is Superman #1, but it's not the first appearance of Superman. There's no major first appearances in it. And then you get Batman #1, and they both came out the same time, right? One's not older than the other. They both came out in 1940. This has the first appearance of the Joker and the first appearance of Catwoman in it. And it's a 9.4. And it sold for $1 million less than the Mile High copy in an 8.5 of Superman #1. You have to answer these questions on your own because I can't answer them for you. Makes no sense to me. This is David. What he wishes, if that was his copy, he'd be selling it right now and living the high life. I can guarantee you that. JC Vaughn, thank you for dropping in here, James. JC. That 9.4 looks so much better than the alleged 9.0 Superman #1 that sold recently. Pages on many of the Mile High copies are amazing. Everything he says is true, and he would know because he was the president or something. Like, what's the highest you can be of Gemstone? So there you go. Who does publish the Overstreet price guide. And so it is very true that 9.0 Superman, I think it's the Nick Cage copy, wasn't it? It's kind of questionable. The grading on it was. The Mile High copy looks way better at an 8.5 than the 9.0 copy, the Nick Cage copy of Superman #1. But anyway, there you go. So these sold in tandem for 13 mil. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your expensive comic of the week. Now we're going to do something that we haven't done in a while. And I don't do very much on this show anymore, but every once in a while, someone comes in that, I've worked with and want to do them a solid. So we're going to do a little creators. Welcome the very mysterious Phil Diaz. Hello, Phil.
Hello, what's up?
What do you think of that 9.4 Batman #1?
Unattainable for me, at least.
It's like I could sell everything I had and I'd still be about 6 million short.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You're on because you have a new book that allegedly just came out, but why couldn't I find it on? I found it on your website.
That's right.
But I didn't find it on Fund My Comic, which I thought it was also on. But am I? Aren't you like?
You're having hallucinating, I think.
Straighten me out on this, Phil.
It's only on Zade Comics. This is the second issue we're doing through our website, and it's all finished. So it's just straight pre-orders, and it's coming out in April. So yeah, last time it was on, we did issue 0 on our site, and we just launched this one Thursday night, I believe. Yeah.
So you're not, let me understand this. So you're not doing basically what a lot of us are doing with the crowdfund model where we raise the money up front, then do the book. You're doing the book and then getting kind of advanced sales on it and then taking it to press based on your numbers.
Yeah, exactly. We started this series while we were crowdfunding last year. And so I was just front loading my amazing artist, Oliver, with story, working on it, collaborating together. And we finished issue 0 and this is issue 1. So issue 0 just got people into the series. All the mysteries are kind of revealed in issue 0 of what's going on through this ongoing. And then issue 1 is the start of the ongoing. So it started the journey of revenge here.
Is this, we got a trailer here, don't we?
Yeah, that's the trailer right there. If you click on the center, it's kind of like...
Okay, well, I opened it in the wrong thing. So let me get rid of it and then reopen it and we can run the trailer. Okay, so if I do this, and do this, we should be able to hear the trailer now when I play it. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let me know if you don't hear it.
I hear it.
Okay, excellent. Yay. Now I got to make it bigger.
There you go.
Once upon a time, in a town time forgot, there was a gambler who cheated the wrong woman. In return, he was cursed. Every loss forced the truth from his lips, so he ruled the desperate. They pay in gold, they left in graves. Now a new face walks into town, searching for the truth. Which way does a dead man ride to wrangle his revenge? One game, one chance, only one winner. The man with no strings, Dead Man's Hand.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Now, you said the Zero issue. How long ago did the Zero issue come out? Because I remember when it came out. I think I had you on when you did the Zero issue.
Yeah, I came on for that, and I think we launched that in September, and it shipped in November. And so people got it November, December, and awesome reviews. Thank you guys, whoever ordered that and was shouting us out. And this, like I said, this issue is completely done now. It's double the pages of issue 0. So this one, it's 28-page story. It's going to be around 38 pages, including like the back matter concept art. And as of now, Oliver is finished with the line art of issue 2. So we're kind of ahead of schedule as well. Hopefully we can get issue 2 launched in the summertime.
Okay, it says all no strings books are printed in the USA by Zaid, covered by Oliver Isabedra?
Yes.
With colors by oh my gosh, you can help me on that one.
Our boy Eugene Bativu. Okay, and then we also have
Eugene,
a different colorist doing the retro covers for our newsprint versions. So it's like a throwback.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So the retro newsprint, that's a separate thing. So the regular comic is printed on nicer paper, and then you're doing the retro newsprint thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, are you doing those through Pete Smetty?
No, we're doing them all in-house ourselves.
Oh, really?
With our printer, yeah.
Okay.
I think the one I sent you a while back was on the newsprint, but it might have been a thinner newsprint.
It was.
Yeah. We upgraded it to a 50-pound newsprint because the thinner newsprint was having trouble feeding through our printer. So all that has been a learning process, and I think we got it down now. So it's actually really cool to see on that like gray toned newsprint.
Do you have a limit number to how many are offered in the newsprint, or is it just to how many people order you're going to do it?
Yeah, we print them to whoever orders them, and then actually the newsprint is after the pre-order campaign comes down. The newsprint version is like our regular stock version. So the better quality, like the better paper, the non-newsprint is kind of exclusive to the pre-order campaigns.
I see. All right. So, excuse me. So you've got, what do we got? 4 covers here?
Yeah. We got the regular colored. This time, the black and white one is actually a different cover than the colored one. The previous issue 0 was just the line art version of the colored. So we had another. If you click on those, it'll actually increase.
Forgive my dog in the background. I'm sorry. My daughter just came home, and so it's like
okay.
Freaking out. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you click on those covers, they'll increase in size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that's the regular version. Look at that, freaking awesome. The subtitle for this is Dead Man's Hand, so there's a lot of like layers to that. You know, our hero has a wooden hand. His curse is every time he gets hurt, he heals like Wolverine, but it heals into wood. He has wooden scars, so he becomes slower as this path. He walks down the path of revenge, so he's becomes a more inefficient gunfighter.
I guess. That's cool.
Yeah, super wicked colors on that. And our hope is once we get through this story arc, we'll collect the first 4 issues, have them colored because the interiors are in black and white right now, and then we'll go through a bigger printer to have them perfect bound.
Okay. How do I get out of this?
There should be a X in the top corner on the right there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the black and white virgin cover. Super cool. This issue is all about our gunman coming to a town that this ghoulish gambler has overrun, and he's cursed to feed off of money. So he like actually eats silver and coins. So he's like holding the town hostage. And they're playing him in poker in hopes to gain like any answer that they want to their wildest dreams. He'll tell them, but he's still a cheat. So
Right.
he just overrun this town, and our main character's coming to get those answers. And there's a poker involved, big gunfight, classic spaghetti western stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, I do kind of dig the artwork too. And usually that's something that I wouldn't necessarily say on the indie comic, but this guy's got kind of a 90s Jim Lee sort of vibe to his stuff. It's kind of cool. So it really kind of caught my eye when I saw the preview stuff for this. Okay, so you got a sketch cover as well?
Yeah, we're printing those as well. That's a 100-pound Bristol. We're able to feed through our printer, and it actually works as a sketch cover. And we've had some of our buddies do amazing pieces on them. It works with Copics. And I think Kenneth Rocafort he was using paint on his. It was crazy.
Yeah, I saw him messing around with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
that turned out really good.
I mean, can someone order this with a sketch on it, or they just get the blank cover and they kind of do whatever they...
Yeah, so if you're an artist, you could order the blank cover, or we do have sketch covers available. Right now, they're all sold out. I think tomorrow we're going to put another fully done up sketch cover by an amazing... I think we have Shelby Robertson did a couple of them, so we'll put some up. Usually when we do streams, we'll do those big drops because Oliver's a digital artist, so we don't have a lot of, if you want original art, we're offering sketch cards, sketch covers.
Okay, cool. I love your logo too. Who did your logo?
My buddy Alan Alonso. He goes by the Howl Comics on Twitter. He's done a bunch of work for us. He's super good.
It's a great logo.
Yeah.
And is this your newsprint?
Yes. Yeah. It's the retro newsprint. Got that like 70s Weird Western Tales header up top. Love that stuff.
Yeah. I think it's funny that I had a conversation years ago with, I think it was Terry Dodson, and we were talking about how, the industry's shrinking and dying, like everybody's always talking about, right? And he's like, well, if the people that are our age that are reading these comics, if we just keep them with us until we retire, at least we're good. And it's funny because the reason I bring that up is because everything is so driven, and I do it myself in my books, are so retro driven, right? Because most people are not happy with the modern state of comics. That's why we're all doing this. And that's why we have the backers that we do, are because they're tired of Marvel and DC as well. So they want, what I think a lot of people want, what they used to be able to get in comics, but can't seem to get anymore. And so it is kind of funny how we're all just sort of like, you said the weird Western kind of header up there and all that kind of stuff. So we are sort of like, we all, I guess, are in a certain degree inspired by our memories and our sense of nostalgia for the industry and what it used to be and how fun it used to be. And we're all trying to bring it back to some degree.
Definitely. Well, I think that's a big part of just creating in general. You fall in love with your favorite comics or stories and stuff you grew up on. So specifically for me, I'm trying to create the feeling that I felt when reading my favorite stuff in someone else, to hopefully inspire them to then carry on the craft going forward. It's kind of like a generational longing. I love stuff like Swamp Thing, and you get those the feeling of awe when you read those stories, and that's what I want to
Right.
pass on.
That's exactly what it is, and getting that feeling again is that's what we're all trying to do. And this has a great look to it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you put together your own website that you can actually do these pre-orders on, which I assume then, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on this because no one probably really cares except me, but I am curious that you, so it'll hold your information, whoever buys pre-orders, I should say, it holds all that information. Then you're creating a shipping list pretty much simply like you would do with Indiegogo or any of these other platforms. And
yeah, if you guys use our Zaid Comic site, it's specifically for like the pre-order campaigns. The money's taken directly out of your account. We hold all the information, and then in April, when fulfillment starts, we'll just ship everything to you. There's a couple of things that will ship out right away from this specific campaign. If you get a digital copy of issue 0, since that's already done and has been sent out, that'll go directly out into your email when you order it. And then the t-shirts on this, for this series, have already been sent out before. So we work with, I think it's Printful, and they drop ship it. So if you order any t-shirts off the site, it's going to go directly to you, and it'll a couple of weeks you'll get the shirts, but everything else will start fulfilling in April.
Okay. Sorry, I'm messing around with my window here to make it do the right size. Okay, so let's go over these perks real quick here, because it seems like you got several options that people can do here. So what do we got here? The catch up.
Yeah, catch up. Those are both newsprint. So our newsprint is actually the cheapest price wise. So for one newsprint, it's $10 plus shipping. And then if you didn't get issue 0, you can get 0 and 1. Those will both be in newsprint, $20, and that's basically your catch-up tier. And anything else you could mix and match, of course. And other than that, that full house one is all for covers plus our little figurine, the shell bean with the cowboy hat on it. It's 3D printed. And then we're doing a new wanted poster featuring the new villain for this series.
How big is the wanted poster? Is it the same size as the comic?
No, it's 11 by 17, and it's also printed on canvas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is basically the full house. You're getting everything, right? All 4 covers, your bean, which that just cracks me up, and then the wanted poster, which I think is a great idea too, on canvas. Very nice. Then you have just the newsprint variant. And
all the
number 1,
a la carte stuff. The regular colored covers are $15. Sketch covers a little bit more, $20. And then we do have, there's one sketch cover available. That last one is actual original art. That's a issue 0 sketch cover. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's got our little puppet master in the background. This is from my buddy Passion for Drawing. And that's one of the issue 0s. And like I said, we'll have more going up throughout the coming weeks.
So obviously this is just one of a kind. First one that gets it.
That's right. Yep.
Excellent. So we got a 4-pack. So that's all 4 covers. So if you just want the covers, but you don't want the extras in the full house, you just get that.
Exactly.
Cover, then your black and white variant. Very nice. All right.
Those were sold out. There's some examples of the sketch cards and sketch covers too. Those were already grabbed.
So is that what you did? Was just the 4 sketch cards originally, or was there more than that?
No, yeah, those that's how many we put up so far, and those are the sold out ones. Yeah.
And you're planning on doing more of these to
definitely. Yeah. Like I said, Shelby's doing some, and then I'm probably going to drop one tomorrow. I would just, if you guys don't follow, if you don't already, definitely be following me on X. We always post the new original art drops.
So he didn't get one from our good friend Bisley, huh?
No. He has one. He has one. He just last time I saw him, I gave him a couple.
So he's hoping at some point that
yeah, maybe he'll remember. And
yeah, I know. I gotta send him his T-shirts. I haven't done that yet. From
oh yeah. Speaking of that, I'm wearing.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Look at that. Yeah,
great shirt.
Well, I knew I'd sucker you into buying one because I had Bisley on it.
Of course.
It's that. Okay, so your add-ons here, you have the No Strings issue 0, the retro newsprint one.
Yeah, exactly. We got some digital books there.
I thought they were phone covers for a minute, and I went, oh, cool. But okay, this is like you digital download stuff.
Yes, digital downloads.
You can read on your phone. See, you don't have to explain it.
Exactly. And then there's the wanted posters.
Okay, so this was from the first campaign, right? The one over here. This is a great idea. I wish I had thought of this. Now I can't do it because I'd be stealing from you, but it's a really great idea. I love this.
Yeah, a lot of people grabbed them too, which is awesome. And this series is going to have a lot of like a ragtag bunch of villains. So I could potentially just keep doing this with the new introductions of the characters and such. So
yeah, it makes perfect sense because you can have like a subset that people collect of the wanted posters. Let's take a look at this guy here.
Yeah, there's Silas.
And this is the villain from this issue.
Yep, he's a Southern gentleman card shark who cheats the wrong woman and she curses him to be this ghoul. And he takes over this town. He's imbued with power, but he's rotting away, obviously. He's chained to his greed.
Very cool. All right, so we got some T-shirts here.
Yep, there's the shirts. They come in a variety of colors, and these will drop ship directly to you, like right after you order them. So you won't have to wait until the campaign is over. Also, Alan did that design as well.
I can go and pick my color. This is just like those T-shirts I found on Instagram. Go through and pick your color.
Exactly.
Look at that.
We got regular T-shirt, and then there's a tank top as well that's available. And then under that stuff is the actual some interior art. If you go back to the previous page.
Okay, well, hang on a second. I want to look at the tank top here. Basically the same thing. So you guys want to go to the gym and work out. People wear these anymore. I used to wear these all the time.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But I don't know. I haven't seen anybody wandering around the gym wearing these. Of course, most of the guys in the gym now are like my age and no one wants to wear them, you know.
Oh, no.
When you're 22, it's like, yeah, I want to wear that, but not so much anymore. Okay, so if I click on this art, what's going to happen? Is anything going to explode?
No, it's just below it.
Oh, below. Okay, I see.
Flashy thing.
Okay, so now wait a minute. Oh, this is art from the issue. I was going to say this is an art for sale because you said he's digital.
Right. Yeah, this is just interiors. Okay. So I wanted to show off some of the new glimpses into the new story.
So we got the origin of our bad guy here.
Yes.
More or less.
A little poker, start of the poker game.
I love the splash page about this Indian and everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, he's kind of our he works as a narrator sometimes throughout the story. If you read issue 0, he kind of led you into that story, but he's going to be a prominent side character for the series.
I want to say I read it, but I can't remember if I did or not. I know I looked through it, Phil. I have some. Do you know who Aaron Sparrow is? Do you know Aaron?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. He sent me a script for Kneel Before Doomface like a year and a half ago, and I still read it.
It's especially scripts. Scripts are so hard for me to read. You know, other people's scripts, especially if there's no art involved.
I was gonna say if there's no pictures, man, it's like, come on, I need a children's book. You got to guide me through with the pictures. I'll read the words, But no, I think this looks really, really great. So
Yeah, Oliver killed it. You know, I love the contrast of the genre with the 90s style arts, like the
Yes.
crazy DC. It's something that I haven't seen a lot of.
Mhm.
Usually when you think of Western comics, it's a more like 1970s or 80s style art. And I'm trying to, and I hope I pull it off, but trying to make the story as high quality and detailed as his awesome art is, to create some cool contrasts. I always say I'm trying to bring that 80s story with that 90s art, you know.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of that 80s storytelling.
Well, I mean, the concept sounds great, and from
Thank
what
you.
I'm seeing here, this looks really, really good. Not just the art, but the story itself looks really interesting. Um, and I mean, that's the most you can ask for is you
Yeah,
don't
we're planning this to be a long running series, and I already have a lot of arcs kind of plotted out and where this is going, inspired by um, stuff that I love, like Hellboy is a big influence on me, where you have story arcs that can be self-contained, but there's an overarching tale that is being told,
Mhm.
or some more modern book. Eric Powell's The Hillbilly is one of my favorites. Love that you have this wandering character who's hunting down witches and just trying to put my own twist on that wandering hero.
No, I think you've got a really nice looking book here, and I think people should
Thank you.
really consider getting behind this because this looks really, really great. All righty, Phil. There you go. That's Phil Diaz, and this is The Man with No Strings, which again you can pre-order right now on his website. You'll find a link in the description of this video. It'll take you right there. And when again is you plan on shipping this?
After April. So I believe this is ending April 10th. That's where our countdown is going to end on. After that, we're pulling like the colored cover and most of the big bundles. You'll only be able to get the newsprint stuff after that. And so, yeah, like I said, I actually have a proof of it right here since we're printing our own stuff. Proofs have already been printed and gone through and edited. So you'll have little to no wait time after the end of this campaign. That badass back cover, and yeah, actually that splash is the first page in the book.
There you go.
So
Cool.
you can see all lettered up. I do the lettering as well. So yeah, feel free to spread it around. I really appreciate you having me on, Aaron, and
My
hopefully
pleasure.
you guys will jump on this.
All right, man. Take care. Good luck with it, and we'll keep in touch.
Cool, man. Have a good rest of the show. Bye,
All right,
everybody.
man.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya. Thanks. All righty. That was the return of Creator's Corner, which I'll do every once in a while, but not too much. But I think that's a really nice looking project. And you guys obviously got all the info. So the links in the description of this video, along with taking you to my website as well. But so right now, let's keep the show rolling. And I got so many windows open, I'm lost in a sea of media. Let's jump in. I thought I had an intro, but I don't, for our AFI top 100 list, which we started a couple weeks ago. And let me go through really, really quickly where we're at and get us up to speed. And then we will jump in on this. And so to most everybody's shock and surprise, AFI came in. This is their new list, not the original list, but their new list, where they have Ben-Hur at 100. And just as a note, because this is such a subject of conversation, in their original list that was published in 1997, the original top 100 of all time, Ben-Hur was number 72. On this new list, or newer list, because this was done, I think this goes back to 2007. So I don't know, maybe they've done another one since then, but This dropped Ben-Hur dropped 28 spots to 100. There's no love for Ben-Hur, which is one of the it's a great movie. It should be way higher than it is. But anyway, so Ben-Hur 100, then Toy Story, Yankee Doodle Dandy, Blade Runner, Do the Right Thing, Last Picture Show, Pulp Fiction, French Connection, Goodfellas, Sophie's Choice. At number 90, Swing Time. That's Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, 1936. Then 89 is Sixth Sense, Bringing Up Baby, 12 Angry Men, Platoon, Night at the Opera, Easy Rider, Titanic, Sunrise, Spartacus, The Apartment, Billy Wilder's The Apartment at number 80, followed by The Wild Bunch, or I should say preceded by The Wild Bunch, Modern Times, Charlie Chaplin film, All the President's Men, Forrest Gump, In the Heat of the Night, Silence of the Lambs, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Shawshank Redemption, Saving Private Ryan at number 70, Clockwork Orange, preceded then by Tootsie, The Unforgiven, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Raiders of the Lost Ark, which should be way higher, African Queen, Network, Cabaret, American Graffiti, which may be too high, Sullivan's Travels at number 61. And that leads us right to number 60. And another one that is just baffling to me, but maybe I just don't appreciate what I should be appreciating. You guys will have to inform me if I'm off my rocker here, but the Marx Brothers Duck Soup, the 60th greatest film of all time. Now, I probably haven't seen that since I was a kid, so I can't really critically analyze it too much, but a Marx Brothers movie as top 60 of all time. I mean, Duck Soup is a classic, of course, but I don't know. I keep going back to, if Ben-Hur is number 100, how is this number 60? I just, I don't know. So anyway, so we have, and I guess I should go back and watch this before I make any sort of bold statements, but it seems, I'm not sure that I could put this ahead of many films that are below it. So, but anyway, there you go. That's our good friends, Duck Soup. And that's up, that was 85 on the very first list. It's gone up 25 spots. It's risen 25 spots. Seriously? Whatever. Okay, now this one is interesting and often talked about film, but there's people that love this. There's people that hate this movie. And of course, it's Nashville. I haven't seen it. And it wasn't even on the list previously. And here it is debuting at number 59. So again, you have a movie that knocks Ben-Hur down. I mean, I feel like Ben-Hur's the best movie ever made, but I do know that this film is intricately designed by Robert Altman, who's the director, and there's multiple storylines going. But like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't say if it is masterfully connected or if it just continues to be this sort of experimental, disconnected film with all these different weird storylines going on. I don't know. But I mean, I will say this: if you're into film at all, and not just a casual film goer, this is a movie that's still talked about, and it came out in what, 75? When did this come out? 1975. So he must have done something right. Sam is saying that Altman is so overrated. Altman, of course, also did MASH, and he also did Popeye, which was not as well received, with Robin Williams looking exactly like the cartoon version of Popeye. So But anyway, so I can't say much about Nashville because I have not seen it. But I can tell you this, it didn't appeal to me when it came out. And of course, I was a kid when it came out, and I couldn't go see an R-rated movie like that when I was, 11 years old. But my mom wouldn't even let me go see Jaws, for crying out loud. So, all right. So at number 58, moving right along here, it's The Gold Rush. And I have seen this, and it is good. Chaplin really was sort of a filmic genius, sort of in the way that you could say that Woody Allen is a filmic genius, which I do believe he is. He handles all genres. I'm talking about Woody Allen. And despite the fact that he married his own adopted daughter or stepdaughter or something, whatever. But just speaking of this filmmaking, I'm a big Woody Allen film fan, and that's not every single one of his films, but they're so, and I guess you could say the same thing with Chaplin, right? Chaplin, of course, is much farther removed, and you have to really go back to watch his stuff and appreciate it. But I have seen The Gold Rush, and it is really, really good. It's a great silent film. There's my dog, and it's not as good as Modern Times, in my opinion, though. And Modern Times is much lower on this list, like it's in the 80s, I believe. And this is much higher. Now, this predated Modern Times. Excuse me a second. Close that door. All right. So, and again, you could say it's groundbreaking and all these kind of things, which it probably was for the time. I wouldn't have a trouble putting Modern Times up this high. I do have a little bit of trouble putting The Gold Rush this high, although I do think it's a really good film. James Hurley says, Aaron, would you consider Alien to be an all-time film classic? I would, actually. It's a genre film in that it's a horror film, but and you could argue sci-fi, but it's really a horror film. So genre films like that tend to get less respect, but I don't know if it's on this list or not. It might be. I haven't really gone over the list. I just grabbed it and we started doing it. So we'll see if it pops up, but it certainly, I would consider it a classic. So anyway, I have The Gold Rush at number 58, which I think deserves to be on this list, but I probably would put it lower. And it's dropped 16 spots. So it was on the original list. It was, what is that? 58? Pardon me. Wait a minute. Am I reading this incorrectly? How does it drop 16 spots if it was originally 74th and now it's 58? It's gone up 16 spots. It hasn't dropped 16 spots. They're confused. All right. So anyway, but it is at 58 right now, or at least on this list. Now, here we go. Now we're getting it, folks. This is when I started becoming a serious movie goer at age 12. At least anyone that I could get in to see. And this is Rocky. Some might argue the greatest sports film of all time. Of course, nominated for multiple awards. I think am I correct in assuming it won Best Picture, didn't it? It beat out Network. Network was the favorite, but I think Rocky won Best Picture. And I want to say John Avildsen, the director, got Best Director. I guess I should have checked, but we'll get to the Academy Awards down the road. Randy Howell, he says, this is the first time we saw a Chaplin film on the list. No, Modern Times was on the list in the 80s. Or down, he wasn't made in the 80s, it was made in 1936, but it was down like in the mid 80s, I think. So it's the second Chaplin film on this list. Everybody agrees Rocky should be way higher than, what is it, 57? Yeah. I mean, this constitutes, in my opinion, an American classic. And, you know, you can say what you want about Stallone, and this is a perfect example of everybody's got one good story in them, right? And this movie is so good and so well done, and the characters are so great. The performances are fantastic. The fight scene is a little overly brutal. I mean, nobody gets brutalized like that without them stopping the fight, even in 1976. So that was always a bit much, but it's just what a great inspirational film this is. But it's a great character film too. And that's what really makes this something special. And of course, Talia Shire got nominated for Best Actress, and I almost said Burt Ward, but Burt, what's the guy's name that played her brother? He got nominated. Burt Young got nominated for Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. I think Burgess Meredith got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, this was like, we kind of think of it, you know, Stallone is making kind of, I don't know, cheesiest films and stuff, but this was not, you know, where Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 are great entertainment, but they're not. This is a real film. This has got real depth to it. And kind of like, I don't know if you guys saw Rocky Balboa, which was Rocky 6, I think, which is actually a really good film too, to a point. But again, it's character driven, and that's what makes this so great. And yeah, I would put it higher on the list, but we'll have to see what we'd replace it with. All right, everybody knows where I stand on this one. Talk about something that should be higher on the list. I don't know. I'm so biased to this movie. It's my favorite movie all time. So you give Aaron his top 5. This is number 1. And that doesn't mean it's the best movie ever made, but it's certainly the best movie in this genre that's ever been made. It's the best, what would you call this? Action horror film? I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you'd call it, and maybe that's the problem, but this freaking film is so incredible. And the fact that Spielberg didn't even get nominated for Best Director. Now, granted, it was his sophomore effort, right? So he's 25, 26-year-old new director. He had directed of course, he directed Duel, but that was a TV movie in the US. And then he directed Sugarland Express, which got, you know, mixed reviews. It was okay, whatever. But then he comes out with this. And it just, it's freaking mind-boggling how good this movie is and how well directed it is. Not only from an acting standpoint, but a staging and shot setup. And there's just, it's so, to think a 26-year-old did this just blows my freaking mind, even if it was Spielberg. This, and here's the sad thing about, I could go on forever about why Jaws is a great movie. The characters in this film, the characterization in this film, the handling of the characters in this film is fantastic. And that's what makes this film so great. The fact that we can't see the shark, because thank God that shark was broken most of the time and didn't work, and we didn't get to see it that much. Okay, because it's really, let's be honest, it's not that convincing of a shark. And it's not bad, especially considering 1975, but the focus became the characters and not the shark. And that's what made this, elevated this thing to greatness. And then Spielberg, such a fantastic visual director. And he also handled the actors really, really well. And the performances really, really well in this movie. Not only should he have not been nominated, he should have been nominated for Best Director. You could argue he should have won. Now, I know One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest did win that year, which is also a great film. And I think I'm Milos Forman, the director, won Best Director for that. So kind of hard, especially when Jaws was probably considered an entertainment film, especially at the time. But boy, the more you watch this and the more time goes by, you see it's so much more than that. And but anyway, I would have this probably in the top 25, 30 for sure. But here we have it at 56, and it was at 48. It's dropped 8 spots. Who are these fools that did this list? Are they dropping Jaws? Ugh. Anyway, don't get me started. Too late. Okay, so Jaws is at 56. Should Jaws be in front of this? Depends on what you like. I guess this is number 55. And I think this is our first Hitchcock entry. And it is, of course, the classic North by Northwest with Cary Grant, a very underrated actor, guy who is equally adept at comedy and drama. This really is a good film. Would I put this in? Would I put Jaws in front of that? I probably would put Jaws. And Spielberg is my second favorite director. My first favorite director is Hitchcock. But this is a great film. Certainly one of Hitchcock's best. And there's several in that category, but this is up there. Marcus Killigrew says, this is a movie that couldn't be made with cell phones. Boy, isn't that the truth. Maroney says it definitely beats Jaws. So he's North by Northwest, he thinks is way better than Jaws. Okay. All right. I won't argue with you because I won't ever argue Hitchcock because this is probably like my 5th or 6th favorite Hitchcock film, which says a lot, but it's still brilliant. So great action adventure, great sort of a little bit of romance in there, a little bit of humor. It's just a really enjoyable film. And Cary Grant, in no small part, is one of the reasons why. Okay. So getting down to 54, right back to good old Robert Altman, we have MASH. And I have to admit, I haven't seen all of this. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but this poster makes you think it's pretty racy film. I don't know if it's really that racy. Because this was, what was it, 71? When was this? 1970. So, of course, you're just coming out of the 60s and, you know, where the decency code, what was it called? All that stuff just fell by the wayside. The 60s basically destroyed mankind. But anyway, or began the destruction of Western civilization. But here you go, where pretty much anything goes. It's R-rated, but that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm sure there was some nudity in it because why wouldn't there be in 1970? Because you didn't get R ratings just for language. Now you can get language is so bad in film now that you can get an R rating just for language. But we see a lot of that. But that wasn't the case back then. So there had to be some nudity in here to get that R rating. But I have not, like I said, I have not seen the whole thing. Now, the guy that played Colonel, the McLean Stevenson's character from the television show, what was his name? The Colonel in this movie. The guy that played him, I went to film school with his son, Dan, and who's now a big producer in New York. But that was always kind of funny is becoming friends with famous actors' kids. And like I knew Fred MacMurray's daughter. It was kind of cool, you know, kind of geek out and go, oh my gosh, that's your dad, you know? Why I can never think of his last name. Sorry, Dan, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're not. Okay, so again, I can't say too much about it because I haven't seen all of it. But apparently pretty good. That's interesting. John Durham says he saw this at a drive-in paired with Patton. That's quite a contrast of opinions on military, takes on military films. All right. Now, of course, we are getting into that range. We're in the 50s, right? And everything we would expect at this point not to be much controversy about, except maybe Nashville a little bit. I don't know. Maybe the gold rush a little bit. But these are all like, you're getting into like really good territory. And this is no exception. This is the Deer Hunter. There was a whole string in the mid to late 70s of Vietnam films, because we really weren't that far removed. I want to say, when did Nixon pull us out of Vietnam completely? Was it 74? So we're talking just a couple of years. Thank you. There it is. Randy Howell. Roger Bowen played Colonel Blake. Dan Bowen is his son, who is a big producer now in New York, like television stuff. And funny story, I had upgraded my first appearance of Dead Man, switching to comics real quickly. Strange Tales 205. First appearance of Dead Man. Anyway, so I bought a real nice copy at a con, and I had kind of a BG copy here. So I put it on eBay to sell it. Dan Bowen ended up buying it. And I said, is this the Dan Bowen I went to film school with? He goes, is this the Aaron Lopresti I went to film school with? And so yeah, here's the thing about Dan. Dan is not very tall. And I was on campus at USC, and I walk into the weight room, which was like all the way the far end of the campus from where the film school was. So I was walking, and you have to go by this track. They have a track right in the center of campus. It's a training track. It's not, they don't have stands or anything. And there's some basketball hoops up there, and he was shooting baskets. And I was walking by, and he challenged me to a one-on-one. And I said, Dan, I'm going to kill you. You don't want to play me. And he's like, oh yeah, come on, man. Come on. I destroyed him. But anyway, unfortunately, there was no money involved in that game. But so anyway, Dan Bowen was a good guy from my experience with him at college. But anyway, let's move on from that. This, of course, was directed by Michael Cimino. Now, Michael Cimino also directed Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, the movie with Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges that kind of put Jeff Bridges on the map. Good film. And so he went on to do this Deer Hunter, which was just freaking epic. Now, interesting thing about this, I believe this is a really long movie, like 3-hour movie. And the beginning scene in this movie is the wedding scene, right? I don't know if I want to call it infamous, but it's like almost an hour long, the wedding scene, right? And he brought in the film with this wedding scene at the beginning, and they're like, this is too long. An hour? We don't need. So they cut the film, like made it to like 20 minutes, the wedding scene. And what they found out was with test audiences that they didn't care as much about the characters when the wedding scene was cut, because that's where he set up everybody and introduced all these characters and established all these characters. And then we go to war with them and you feel connected to them, right? But when they cut that wedding scene, they had a completely different reaction. So they put the wedding scene back in and then released it as this epically long film. Comics legend, there you go. The wedding scene grounds the world. There you go. No camera to prove it. Well, you're just going to have to trust me on this one. I was a pretty good basketball player back in the day. And I was also 6'2", and he was like 5'6", so that didn't help him either. Okay. So Meryl Streep is in this, gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress in this. Christopher Walken, I believe, won Best Supporting Actor for this. De Niro won Best Actor, right? Am I mistaken on that? No, I'm not. He won Best Actor for this. And this is a brutal movie, man. Brutal movie. But again, I would consider this an American classic. So I don't think you can argue it being on this list or even where it's at on this list. And some might argue that it should be higher. The thing with Cimino was he went right from this to do Days of Heaven and blew the budget on it. The thing was a massive flop and essentially ruined his career. And he did come back like 20 years later and did that movie with Michael Douglas with the Chinese the Chinese gangs or Asian gangs. Can't remember. They might have been Japanese, but what was that called? Something with the dragon. I can't remember. But anyway, I mean, he went from top of the world to bottom of the pit after this and after Heaven's Gate. But why would you invest that much money in a slow-moving Western starring Chris Christopherson? I mean, you got to be out of your freaking mind. And apparently it was. And it got so self-indulgent. They had to build. There was a roller skating sequence in this movie, not Deer Hunter, and where they built this entire roller skating rink to film the scene, and that cost them millions of dollars just to build that. And anyway, the whole thing was that might be it. Black Rain. That might be it. So anyway, poor Michael Cimino, but he did have a couple of good films in this. He had a masterpiece. He got one masterpiece out of him, which is, I mean, that's more than a lot of people can say. All right. Well, this is going to spark conversation for sure. Where does this belong on the list? It certainly belongs on the list, but where? Probably the movie that sort of put Scorsese on the map as a director. I'm trying to think if there was something before this. I don't think so. That was like, I mean, he did Mean Streets, but that was nothing like the phenomenon that Taxi Driver was from 1976. So De Niro had already gained some notoriety from, he was in Mean Streets, he was in Bang the Drum Slowly, but you know, no one was really talking too much about him until The Godfather Part 2, where he gets an Academy Award nomination, which he won. I take that. He got nominated and he won for that, for playing a young Vito Corleone. So then he follows it up with this and gets nominated for Best Actor. Didn't win. I believe this got nominated for Best Picture as well. And Scorsese Best Director, but none of them won. But this kind of put them all sort of like, this is when people knew, okay, De Niro's for real, I guess, was after this. Because he did The Deer Hunter shortly after this. I mean, De Niro had like freaking amazing run from Godfather Part 2 to Taxi Driver to The Deer Hunter to Raging Bull in 1980. I mean, he was just going crazy. And so, of course, Scorsese really caught fire as well. People are saying top 10. Steve Patterson. You got those guys from best friends from high school, and still my dear friend Steve Patterson. What's he doing in the chat? No one knows, but Steve is one of those guys that you're like best friends with in high school, and then he does like 10 times better than you do after you graduate. And you want to hate him for it, but you love him because he's your best friend and are happy for his success. But Thanks for dropping in, Steve. Appreciate it very much. Says, yes, now De Niro has a Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, well, him and everybody else in Hollywood, right? But sometimes, you just got to step back. I wish actors and actresses would shut their mouths and just do their thing. Because the less we know about them, the more likely we are to like them. And I used to hate De Niro in the same way I hated Brando early on, because all I ever saw him in was like playing like street thugs. And you're like, this guy's got no range. He can do one thing, play this New York street thug, right? But then I saw King of Comedy that De Niro was in, and it just blew. I was like, whoa, okay, this guy's got serious range, and I was wrong about him. And then, of course, his performance in Godfather Part 2, although it's all in Italian and stuff, and he does kind of play a thug, but more of a sophisticated, trying to be a sophisticated thug. But it was King of Comedy that changed my mind about De Niro as an actor. And then it was Julius Caesar that changed my opinion about Marlon Brando. And once I saw Julius Caesar, I was like, and then Brando became my favorite actor. So anyway, I haven't seen this in forever, and I'm not. When I was in my in junior high, I was totally in. I could watch anything violent. Just the more violent, the better. How much blood's flowing, we'd get a kick out of that stuff. Now, as an older adult, I'm squeamish. So I would have to go back and watch this again, because it's probably been, I don't know, 30 years maybe or more. I know Paul Schrader did the screenplay, and I think I'd say I'd have to go watch it again before I give a definitive opinion on it. Okay, this one I do have a definitive opinion on, though. Moving right along here. Talk about, movies that, I know it should be on the list simply because whatever, but I hate this film. And here we go at number 51. West Side Story. Are you freaking kidding me? All right, here's the problem with this movie, and this is a problem with it's like The Sound of Music, which I don't like either, although I think The Sound of Music actually is kind of a good film. But gangs, dancing, and singing? Are you freaking kidding me? Singing in the Rain, in my opinion, is the best musical ever made, and it's a great film, but it's a comedy, it's lighthearted, it's a fantasy, right? And so you can accept the singing, okay? This is supposed to be this dramatic thing about gangs, knife fighting, and a love story between two rival, I guess what nationalities, whatever you want to call. And it's like, this just, can we get rid of the singing and dancing and just do this as a straight film? I put it on the list because it has to be on the list. I understand that, but this is like 100 on my top 100. I'm sorry. Maybe it's brilliant for what it is, but it's what it is that I can't stand. So there you go. I cannot watch this film. When it comes on, I just like, you see a fight and then they break out and dance and they start the blades and they're moving and they're grooving. It's just like, oh my gosh, we can stop. Okay. So, yeah. I that's all I can say about this. That's why I hate it. Rita Moreno wins Best Supporting Actress for her role as whatever. And I like Rita Moreno, but and then of course Natalie Wood as the Mexican girl, right? Is she the Mexican? Yeah, I think she's a Mexican girl. And then Richard Beamer is the white guy that's like related to the Jets, and Natalie Wood is related to the Sharks, and it's just wow. All righty, there you go. That's going to be our 10 for this week. That takes us right into next week. We'll start at number 50. So real quick recap. Duck Soup at 60, Nashville at 59, The Gold Rush at 58, Rocky at 57, Jaws at 56, way too low on this list for me. North by Northwest, well, should be higher than West Side Story anyway. Then MASH at 54, Deer Hunter at 53, Taxi Driver at 52. In fact, every one of these movies that we've talked about, with the exception of maybe Duck Soup and maybe Nashville, all these films should be ahead of West Side Story. So, in my opinion. In fact, we could go back to Shawshank Redemption at number 72, should be in front of West Side Story. Saving Private Ryan should be in front of West Side Story. Clockwork Orange. You know, it's funny. Steve Patterson, who was in the chat, just my friend from high school, we watched Clockwork Orange together at my house. And we sat there and looked at each other and went, what did we just watch? Which is not an unusual reaction for a Kubrick film. But anyway, there you go. That is, we are now, that's our top 50 or bottom 50 of the top 100. Well, bottom 51. We'll start with number 50 next week, which is, I'm not going to tell you, have to tune in to find out. West Side Story, man. Are you kidding me? All right. Well, enough about that. No. Biased. I don't have a bias against musicals. Okay. I love Singing in the Rain. White Christmas, kind of enjoy. But they're not serious subject matter, right? They're not heavy dramas with music in them. I mean, I don't even mind the music, but it's people breaking out in songs. It's like The Sound of Music. Oh, here come the Nazis. Oh, look out. Here come the Nazis. You know, it's like, give me a break. So anyway, I can't take it. Best Age Comics says West Side Story is just a great movie. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying West Side Story is a great movie? I assume that's what you're saying. If that's not what you're saying, I take the cannonball back. I'm sorry if I hurt you. Henry Angelus says, obviously Aaron doesn't know anything about gangs. They all sing before they battle it out. I guess maybe I should. Okay, Paint Your Wagon is a joke. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's I don't know. Is comic book covers, is that more serious than what we were just talking about? I was going to say let's get serious, but I don't know. Let's look at comic book covers anyway. How about good old Mark Texeira? Let's take a look at some of his stuff. Mark's a good guy, friendly dude. I've got some stories about Mark, but I can't share them yet. Yeah, I'm not going to share them. But actually, so did I. But again, that was, I don't know. It just, I don't know. I took that more as a kind of a fantasy, and it is kind of like romance. That's okay, as long as you don't get any sort of like real world issues involved in the musical. Then it becomes kind of silly. I guess is my problem. I guess maybe I'm splitting hairs for you guys, but I do have this sort of, I have a musical meter, okay, and there's certain subject matters that I'm not putting in a musical, and so anyway. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at some of Texas, some of my favorite covers of Texas. These is not in any particular order, and of course your mileage may vary depending on your tastes. But let's start off with, and I think all of these are painted. So there we go. This is a more recent one, within the past 20 years, right? 15 years. 10 maybe, I don't know. I remember when this came out and I really liked it. I think it's kind of interesting and during this period of time that they put the cape back on Black Panther, because he originally had the cape in his first appearance in Fantastic Four, but then they got rid of the cape because it really didn't make any sense. And so it doesn't make any sense to me that they brought it back, but he still looks really freaking cool in this cover. So I think there's a strong sense of drama here. The perspective is kind of wild. You got the figure coming right at you. Again, a nice, big, bold figure. Obviously, it's Black Panther, so you're going to have a lot of black in the cover, but a lot of volume here. Highlights in the right places to really sort of shape the figure, which there really isn't, you're really not seeing that much, but I really liked this. I thought it was dramatic and dynamic. I just found this one unique. So I put it on here because I think it's, first of all, the Punisher in space is just like, what? But I love this idea of the spacesuit with the Punisher and his guns, right? Coming at this astronaut, in space. I mean, it's a fairly complex cover. I mean, pulling this off, it would not be easy. But even though, I mean, if he really wanted to get crazy, he could have had the reflection of the Punisher bent around the glass hood of the astronaut, their helmet. But still, I mean, he does to a certain extent, as he has the bullets back there kind of bending, but I understand why he did not bend the Punisher, because he'd be distorted and you wouldn't, I don't know if that's really the look you want, especially since it's the Punisher's book. But I really like the concept of this. And so it's on my list. Anytime the Hulk is involved in anything, I'm interested. So you've got the Hulk apparently beating the crap out of She-Hulk, and the Avengers coming in behind her here. I like that dramatic lighting on the Hulk. I'm curious. I don't know if he's using. This is kind of dirty. I wonder if this is gouache and not acrylic. My feeling is this looks like gouache to me, which is fine. But I just try. I love this, the Hulk torso and the. Was this 25 years ago? Seriously. Incredible. So again, great volume. We've got this really big centralized hulkish figure drawing our attention in. The Avengers. I mean, come on, what's not to like? This was the Hulk annual from 2000. Remember there was that period of time where they weren't numbering the annuals. They were just putting the date on there. It makes it difficult when you're trying to look them up. What annual was that? Was that from what year was that? Of course, it's pretty bold right there on the cover, but I just discovered this one, but because of the subject matter, I put it on here. Kind of feels like he should have done more of these, and maybe he didn't. I'm just not aware of them. But this Conan cover. I like what he did here. This is a yellow-purple complementary. So you can see the purple in the sky back here, and all this is yellow. And you can see the purple. He's using that in here, or violet, if we want to get technical, in the shadowed areas. In the metal, in the boots, in the shadow down here. It's a nice use of a limited palette, but a correct use of a limited palette. Not that I'm sitting here critiquing Tex's paintings, because he certainly knows way more than I do. But I just like the figure. I like, I mean, it's just kind of posy, but it's Conan, right? So I had to put it on here. I do like the color scheme, though. Now, this is interesting because it's not inked by Tex. It's inked by Jimmy Palmiotti. But I like this sort of blocky. Look at that leg, how lumpy that leg is. I like the energy. I like the unusual nature of the figure work. Kind of grabs your attention. Very dynamic cover with just a single character. But I find it really interesting that he just penciled this, because you don't see that often from Tex. He usually does the whole thing himself. I will not reveal who the guest artist is. I won't do it. Have to wait and see. Tex has a lot of similarities in his covers. He usually goes for a really big central figure. And that's what we got going here. But boy, look at the guns on Wolverine, man. Are you kidding me? It's almost Bisley-esque in a way, wouldn't you say? But it's high energy, man. He's even got a little bit of that that image speed line stuff going in the background there. Look at this. His bicep is right there, and his tricep would be back here. His arms are enormous. And he did do that exaggeration, that figure work exaggeration a lot. But again, it was cool. It stood out. He like had its own personality. You knew it was Tex. And now this I solely like just because of the figure. So it's not a great reason to like it, but for me it is. Again, there's a very sort of Bisley-esque feel to this. Look at the guns on, look at that arm. Are you kidding me? I like the kind of the rough, loose inking on here. This appears to be brush for the most part. Like these strokes down, these shading on his knee and leg and stuff, that is definitely brush. Up in here, this probably is as well. See, I could never do something that rough. It's almost like Sam Keithish too. But look, he said these massive guns, right? And then teeny tiny little feet down here. And then look how rough and knocked out this figure of Jean Grey is back here. All of them are really. It's just kind of a. The reason I love Tex's work, and a lot of guys in Bisley and a lot of guys that are in the same sort of realm, is they're able to ink their work, but it's still loose and rough enough that it never loses the energy that was probably there in the pencils. It never gets stiff because it's not, you know, like the inking is not so controlled that it becomes something different. It feels like an inked sketch. And that's something in the last couple of years, you guys have been watching the work I've been doing, trying to get to that, because I really love that, to be able to maintain that energy that you find in a looser pencil, but you have to ink it a certain way. And rather than slick it up to death, and then it becomes a new piece of art, and you lose sometimes, a lot of times, that energy. And he didn't lose that here. So anyway, I just like that massive figure of Wolverine in the foreground. This is, they got Bill Sienkiewicz-esque Bart Sears anatomy. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to get into some groovy Ghost Rider stuff. Very simple, but really cool. Simple in the sense that it's this single figure, very limited background. You got this big flame in the front there, creating a framing device. I'll tell you one thing, guys that had to draw this series, we're very grateful for this motorcycle design that's really sort of streamlined. You don't have to draw all that extra stuff in there. This is a really cool painting. I really like this. Coming at you, very dynamic, but again, it's very simple. Nice background color here. The orange-blue complementary. The orange really, you know, sticks out here. Yeah, it's funny. I see that you guys are mentioning Javier Salatares in the chat. He was penciling when they relaunched Ghost Rider and it got really hot. He was penciling it, and Tex was inking him. And I think Tex was bringing a lot to the table that we were giving credit to Javier for. And then Tex, of course, went off and did his own thing, and Javier Salatares never looked as good as when Tex was inking him. It's another very similar cover. I probably shouldn't have picked it because it's too similar, but I like it, so I picked it. This is a much more complicated motorcycle. Again, I love how he's got the tire coming right at us. He got the chain whipping around coming at us. So it's a very dynamic cover. Really did a nice job on the Ghost Rider. You know, most of the details right here in the skull, and that's where you want him looking anyway, right? You know, the background's kind of blurred out. And that's on a Ghost Rider Annual, #2. Yeah, you guys are saying the chain is dope. Well, the lighting on it is fantastic. It's really nice. Now, this is probably my favorite Tex cover. And I mean, it may be its most famous. And it's his most simple. But that great glow-in-the-dark Ghost Rider cover, remember when that came out? All the gimmicks, people were just rushing to get all the gimmicks. And this was the glow-in-the-dark. But this was one of the cool gimmicks where you're like, okay, that's a cool piece of artwork. It glows in the dark. I'm getting this. And I don't know if I still have this or not, but I did at one time. I probably got rid of it with all my post-1970s comics that I got rid of, but I just, again, you're taking a very simple concept and turning it into something really, really cool. Avenger 2, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but he's getting back to De Niro from earlier. He says, I think De Niro's big problem is his ex. His latest wife was driving up his credit card bills to like at least $20K per month. Between that and getting older, De Niro's gone off the deep end. Oh, that will do it. Oh, that's interesting. Marcus says Tex made his name inking Javier Salatares, his brother-in-law at the time. Okay, interesting. Randy Howell. JC Vaughn always includes a glow-in-the-dark cover with his Al Capone Vampire series. I did a cover for JC and his Al Capone Vampire series. Avenger 2, it must be like he's way behind us. He's saying West Side Story might be gayer than the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that's saying something. Oh, boy. Anyway, so there's your cover work for today, for or this week. And this, of course, being probably my all-time favorite text cover right there. So some really groovy Ghost Rider stuff. All right, well, we've looked at films. We've looked at comics. We even looked at expensive comics. I should take a moment. I will do this. So those of you who are late joining me, see this right behind me right here? That painting right there on the easel, that is the cover to Barbaric Adventures magazine, which will be launching in 3 weeks on Graybeard Studio channels. That's March 4th on a Wednesday. If all goes well, we're going to launch it on one of the Graybeard shows. I'm hoping that everything's done and ready to go by the 4th. I'm working towards that. Some of you will also know that I've been working on a Zorro miniseries for Alien Books. I did finish the first issue finally. It was 30 pages. It just kept going. I was like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? So now that that's done, my schedule has loosened up, so I can now work exclusively on that cover painting and some interior pages for the story and putting the campaign together. So as of right now, we're looking to launch that on the 4th of March. And Indiegogo's driving me crazy. Their new revamped, this is so complicated and complex. So anyway, I'm still trying to get this approved, because every time I send it in, they're like, oh, you forgot to hit this, click this button. And I'm like, go back and click the button. Then I got to wait another 5 days. Oh, you forgot to click this button. I clicked that button. Got to wait another 5 days. So I'm hoping this will get approved finally, and I can get the pre-launch page up before it actually launches. That would be great, wouldn't it? But this is kind of what it looks like. So I am serving right now as the pre-launch page to let you guys know. This is going to be a fantastic magazine. It is in black and white, but we're all doing it with like this gray toned. All of us that are working on it, which is me, David Williams, Dan Lawless, are doing all our stuff in gray tone. So it's going to be much richer than just a straight black and white comic. And of course, the reason it's black and white is because I'm trying to bring back, talk about nostalgia, that kind of Savage Tales, Savage sort of Conan type magazine. That's what we want to do. And gosh darn it, that's what we're doing. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. The work I've seen so far from the guys is brilliant. So I highly recommend you back in this when it comes out. Marcus, with the new IG sucks, it does. But too far committed at this point. If I have any trouble with it, I may move to another platform altogether on the next project. And I may also, this is probably going to show up on different platforms as well. We'll see how it does on Indiegogo first. So anyway. And I also want to remind everybody, I do have a website. And if you go to my website and push the Shop Now button, it'll take you to the official Aaron Lopresti web store. If you go up here to these little buttons or tabs up here at the top, right here, you'll see Home, Store, Art for Sale, Empire Comics, Portfolio. So if you want to look at pictures, you click on the portfolio. If you want to read about what's going on with Empire Comics, you click there. If you want to look at the Art for Sale, let's look at the Art for Sale. You click there. And here's covers and pinups that I have on there for sale. There's a DC cover there. What was that? Hawkman and Adam Strange, #1. Got some Archie stuff up there. Future Quest, I still have that cover. Ooh. That's the Herculoids cover. The Damage Annual cover, which I really think is good. A couple more Archie covers. There's that Al Capone cover. Beauty and the Burger #1 cover featuring Jughead and his dog, which later got changed to Betty. So if you bought this is what the original artwork looks like, but it also comes with a paste up image of Betty that goes back there. This is from Atomic Toy Box #1. I did like 4 variants, and this was what became Power Cubed, but I did this through Image, and this is like my manga chick cover. Injustice, I think I may have sold this. I better check that. Someone either asked about it or I sold it. Well, I guess if I did, it probably shouldn't be up there. But anyway, lots of good stuff there. Pages. There's some Justice League pages here. There's a Damage page with I don't have any of my Damage pages up. Not that that's a huge fan favorite, but there's some really good art in there. So a lot of Wraith of God pages up. Look at all those Wraith of God pages that previously unavailable, but there they are. Some splash pages too. Kit Carter artwork from the graphic novel is up here. A little bit of Swamp Thing. Some more Justice League. And then you can go to prints. And these are all the signed and often numbered, but at least signed prints that I have. These are all 11x17, except for the giant movie poster of Kit Carter Planet Doom. So lots of good stuff there. Yeah. If you're searching for back issues, Wraith of God #1, second printing is available. Wraith of God 2, first printing with a wraparound cover. Also Wraith of God 2 with the Tomb of Dracula and the Tales of Suspense covers are still available in very, very small numbers. Same with Wraith of God #2 with the Bisley cover. Very small numbers left of those, but still some. Got Garbage Man, got Power Cube still, got some saved from the trash sketchbooks, a few Kit Carter hardcovers, a decent amount of the softcover Kit Carter Planet Dooms, Graybeard Studio sketchbook ash can. That's actually a really nice little booklet, some really nice artwork, all from Graybeard Studios. And we also have Wraith of God Fear Hollow on here, all covers available, although we don't have many of the EC cover or many of the Chris Stevens painted cover left. Kit Carter sketchbook, I still have some of these left. This is a really nice sketchbook. If you guys haven't got it, you should consider it. What's over here? A couple of these ash cans left from San Diego a couple of years ago. A couple price guides where I did the covers for. Of course, that's Fear Hollow #3, the Marvel variant. So anyway, lots of good stuff there. While you're waiting to back, while you're waiting to back Barbaric Adventures, go check out my website. You'll find a link in the description of this video. All right, there we go. All right, then I guess it's time for something really special. Nah, it's not really special. It's the same old thing. Yeah, baby. That's a complicated question. Depending on what, probably at least $50. I don't know. I didn't say Willy Wonka sucks. That's a musical that I'm okay with. Although Willy Wonka kind of feels more like a movie that has some songs in it, more than it feels like a musical. But why am I being? I think Avenger, I think you came in late and you're making assumptions that just simply aren't true. So we'll take care of that. I said I like comedies and fantasies that are musicals. I'm fine with that. It's when you try to do something really serious, like West Side Story or Sound of Music, and make it a musical, it seems a little silly to me. Although I can grin and bear it through Sound of Music because I like Julie Andrews, but I can't make it through West Side Story. Sorry. All right, let's get to the cryptid universe, can we? And find out if we're any closer to discovering the whereabouts or proving the actual existence of our good friend Bigfoot. I feel like I've shown this one before, but yet I looked at it and I wasn't sure. So here it is. Maybe again, jumping Bigfoot right there. That's pretty much your clip. Now I kind of like this. Okay. So he jumps. So you've got some interesting movement back there. You've got some kind of bulkiness to him. And of course now the guy claims this is an AI. So that's probably a sure indication that it is, but, it's hard to say. It's kind of blurry, but I like the action here. I like the movement. Like he lands and then he kind of absorbs it. It kind of looks real, except that it's really blurry and we can't see anything. But other than that, Tommy is a fantasy. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I have to admit, despite the telltale signs that this is fake, which is it's a super short clip, which means it was probably generated somehow either by AI or maybe through, an editing program or special effects program. But the movement is what gets me here. The effort into the move. If someone brought this in to my Bigfoot class, I would give this probably be like a B+ range because I'd like it to be a little bit longer, but I think we see enough of the character. I mean, theoretically, it could be a dude in a suit. And then they just blurred it up a little bit, or maybe this is it. Maybe this is actual footage of Sasquatch. Dale says, I'm going to write a serious Bigfoot musical. I didn't like Tommy very much because it was kind of gross. The whole fiddle about scene with it's just really kind of depressing. And Anne Margaret's in it though. Whew. Although she gets covered with baked beans, which is really kind of gross. I don't know. I didn't like Tommy very much. But then again, what do I know? You guys got me all off track here. Okay. Now, I almost didn't show this one, but it is so clear that I felt like, okay, you know what? I am going to show it. Okay, let me try it again. Maybe it'll work this time. Boom. There it is. Okay. Is this AI? Or is it reality? Look at the movement. Look at the glitches in the movement. It's got to be AI, but I mean, we get a pretty clear shot. Look at it. The blinking eyes are like so like mechanical looking. But that movement right there, I like that. And I like the look of the creature too. But look at, there's a glitch right there. Then there's another glitch, obviously, right there. And then we don't even get him off camera. So what is it they say that with AI, that if you're using free AI, you get like 6 seconds of animation. So if the clip is 6 seconds, then it's that it's AI. I mean, obviously, I believe this to be AI, but it's kind of fun anyway because it's so clear. And he doesn't have a typical look to him. He kind of looks, he doesn't look totally gorilla-like. He looks sort of mannish gorilla, which is what we're going for with Bigfoot. That's what we want to see. He's kind of got that. But yeah, it's clearly AI, but it's still pretty good. Creative Faces, that's altered footage of Kelsey. Moromi says, I have free AI and unlimited time. Really? Which AI do you use? Angela Curry's in the house. Hey, Angela, thanks for joining us. Angela has hooked me up with chocolates more than once. So she has a special place in my heart. All right, I think we're just going to all agree that that's AI. All right, now what about this? I think I'm going to play the guy. Here's the problem with this. This doesn't look too bad. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play it silently first. I'm going to play it with the sound. So this guy's filming, right? Like, oh, maybe that's something. It's really far away. You know, it's just a little bit blurry, just enough to, it's got long arms and it's, you know, very, okay. But now listen to the guy's performance. Hang on a second. I got to make sure I do this right so you can actually hear it. Bear with me a second. Why isn't that open? All right, maybe you can't hear the sound. All right, if you can't hear the sound, sorry. But anyway, I'm going to give it a shot with the sound.
It's a big one. I can't believe it's real. Holy, look at the size of it. Gotta keep quiet. Oh my
Can you hear that?
That's a big one. I can't believe it's real. Holy, look at the size of it. Gotta keep quiet.
Okay, so if you couldn't hear it, here's what he says. He says, oh my God, that's a Bigfoot. I can't believe it. It's real. Holy, look at the size of them. I've got to keep quiet. It's like the worst dramatic performance I've ever heard in my life, which makes me believe, okay, this is fake. He would have been better off just not speaking. So yeah, good performance, okay performance on the fakery down here. Terrible vocal performance though by the guy with the camera. Yeah, this is it, Shatner. Now Shatner would have been more like, oh my God, that's a Bigfoot. I can't believe it. It's real. Holy, look at the size of it. Keep quiet. Would have been more like that, I think, if Shatner had done it. It's a Bigfoot. So you'll have to trust me. The guy's performance was horrible. It was very muted anyway. And when you record these off of YouTube or wherever, like I do, the sound is terrible. So anyway, okay. Now, this is strictly for entertainment value. I am not in any way suggesting that this actually occurred, but maybe you'll have a different opinion. So he's filming this moose, filming the moose. So let's say, and then what? Bigfoot shows up and it's a fight. So what do you think of that? That's what I call Wild Kingdom right there. Okay, and the problem is, of course, he's shooting the moose, and then he doesn't have like a shot of Bigfoot entering the scene and attacking the moose. He just cuts to them already fighting. What was he doing when Bigfoot was sneaking up on those moose? I actually kind of like the fight a little bit, though. It's not bad. But how many prompts do you have to put in? You just say, I want, it's like, Grok, make me a video of Bigfoot fighting a moose. I mean, do you enter in your photograph and then tell them to, because the movement of the moose and everything actually, and the Bigfoot looks pretty good. It's a terrifying world we live in. All right, now for the insulting part of our show, where everybody thinks that we're complete idiots. Okay. So, okay. Look at this. Okay, it's clearly a guy wearing a hoodie, right? You can even see his nose right there. He looks like, if you go back to the beginning, check this out. Okay. Look right here. It looks like he has one of those, skin tight green suit hoodies on. So you get the kind of the shape of his nose and the shadow underneath it. And then he's got a hood. He's wearing a hoodie over the top of that, or a jacket with a hood on it. And then they just like darkened it and added the light effects for his eyes. I mean, this is a failing grade in my Bigfoot class. This is zero effort. If they'd taken a piece of shag carpet and wrapped it on his head, it would have looked better than this guy wearing a hoodie. He has a mask on and a hoodie. I mean, it's not even, you can clearly see it. So they didn't even like blur it up enough so I can't see the hoodie. I'm insulted. I'm insulted by this. But let's watch it again. He's got Walgreens. Yeah, those might even, you're right, those might be sunglasses he has on. Yeah, they are. Good catch. Who got that? The nerd alert. It looks like he has shades on. Oh my gosh, this is even worse than I thought. It's incredible. Incredibly bad. Henry Angelus basically says, we never consider Bigfoot fashion choices. You might be onto something there. Randy Hall says that's the shadow. Could be. The ninjas looks like he's got a beak. I think that's just his nose. Hands up, don't shoot. Randy, a Canadian, so he knows what he's talking about, says those antlers would tear out Bigfoot's face as the moose's head is rolling around. All right. Boy, I tell you. So anyway, there you go. There's a creeper out in the woods. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. That's a pretty healthy show. We went 2.5 hours. I started at 3 o'clock. Should I maintain this 3 o'clock start time? The 3:30 start time seems kind of odd to me. I know I originally started at 4, and then other people started streaming over the top of me. And I was like, ugh. So I moved it back 30 minutes. And then I'm sitting here wondering, well, should I just start at 3 o'clock? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the numbers do over the course of a week. Maybe does that 30 minutes make a difference or does it not? I have no idea. I'm an amateur all the way. Creative Face says Judge Watner's on at 3:30. I don't want to do that. Marcus Killigrew says, wait a minute. Is this like a left-handed compliment? Actually, good show. Congratulations. Hate to give you one of those on the way out the door. Did I have two? I had two super chats. Randy Howell for $2 says, should Aaron start a Bigfoot film school? I should. Teach kids how to make good Bigfoot videos. That's what I'm all about. Helping society. Stealth, we got your $2 for hello, didn't we? Thank you very much for those two. All right, guys, thanks for the participation. Angela Curry, I'm a little disappointed you showed up so late. I expect you here earlier in the future, please. And Avengers 2, don't come in late and start accusing me of things I didn't say. I'd like to thank my my guest appearance from my best friend from high school, Steve Patterson. And I want to thank Phil Diaz for dropping in and showing off his wares. And there you go. So no flat files this week. We're already way over time. But I'll have, by this time Sunday next week, I'll have plenty to show. Although I'm not going to show you the finished covers. You're going to have to go to the campaign when it launches to see all the finished covers. But I'll be working on an interior page too. I'll probably just share a little bit of that with you too. But anyway, we'll have more fun stuff next week. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. What's left? Be safe, have fun, enjoy life. You never know when it's going to be over. That's pretty grim. But thank you, and we'll catch you here next week on comics, cryptids, and cannonballs. Good night, everybody.
Mr. Tambourine Man!